Well, several hundred Rotarians gathered tonight at the Corpus Christi Country Club to pay tribute to one of their own. Former State Representative Seaman, a longtime Republican lawmaker, was honored as one of the club's hometown heroes, receiving the group's Paul Harris Fellow Award. It's named for an early Rotarian who established a foundation to help fund good works all around the world. Seaman says tonight's award is really meant to highlight all of that charity.
So it's really about Rotary and the tremendous work they do.
But they came here to honor you tonight, so how does that make you feel?
Well, embarrassed. They're really thoroughly embarrassed. All the people coming by shaking hands, and I'd like to cringe, but I can't.
Seaman, a one-time Golden Gloves boxing champion, is now an accomplished businessman and real estate developer, and most recently was tapped by the governor to serve on the Texas committee charged with helping Hurricane Harvey survivors to rebuild.